Why don't I lose the fat? This is a question I keep asking myself, having never seriously committed to a weight loss plan or considered it for a long time in my journey. But where do I start? How do I make such a drastic change and stick to it? How awesome am I going to look when the cut ends? Before continuing to ask these questions, the first thing we need to establish are the starting point statistics. Where we currently stand, to be able to calculate a goal which is achievable without being unrealistic. As it stands, I'm 5'6", 94.5 kilo, and have no current limitations on my eating. I eat what I like, and try to be moderate where I can. But if I want to make a change in my physique, I know that ultimately my diet will have to change too. So here's how we do it. I'm going to partake in a cut until December to see all the progress I have made. Hopefully, I will look as insane as I'm imagining in my head. The aim is to be intaking around 2,300 to 2,450 calories per day, as well as 170 to 200 grams of protein. I can't imagine my consistency being high with tracking of any other macros besides this, so I'm happy to use this as a starting point. My only other goal when it comes to dieting is to avoid takeaway and alcohol for at least the first month or two, where I can, or minimizing it, just ensuring that my alcohol and takeaway intake are at an all-time low, because I believe this is where most of my fat comes from. Especially having a KFC opposite my gym, it makes it very difficult not to give in to temptation sometimes. Now that we have a basic understanding of the diet, what's left? Well, training is another aspect of losing weight, which we need to really consider if we're going to be serious about this whole thing. Especially since it's what you're here to see, training is a big portion of what weight loss is. If I'm doing more cardio, I'm more likely to lose weight. If I'm doing none, I'm less likely. But is it necessary? No. It's just an additional way of losing weight and fat specifically, especially if you're doing low intensity training, such as less instead of HIIT. For my training, the intensity isn't going to change at all. I'm still going to be going as heavy as I can and as hard as I can where I can. I've been pushing myself as hard as ever, especially to ensure that I don't lose any strength or muscle, or at least mitigate it as much as possible during this cut, because I know it is a likely happenstance that my muscles are going to somehow lose some strength despite me training so hard. I know because of the fact I've got so much weight on me, it's going to be easier to lift heavier. So ego's going to take a bit of a dent here, but besides that, ultimately we're going to still be making progress and the physique is going to look a lot better for it. After the diet, after this cut, what happens next? That's the big question, because I'm hoping to end this diet in December, which is also Christmas. There's going to be a lot of weight gain during that time, and it's going to be hard to ignore that. But I'm still, during that time, even though it's a time to let loose, I'm going to be still trying to minimize as much damage as I can, because this is going to be a long time cutting. I'm sure it's going to be a lot harder for me to put on loads and loads of weight, and I think I can be moderate with my intake during this time, or at least try to. Ultimately, this cut is to help me see that all the workouts I've been doing, all the effort I've been putting in, I want to be able to see how my physique has changed and how much my efforts actually paid off. All the time I'm seeing people on social media at their best, at their leanest, at the absolute pinnacle of their lifting career. I want to be at that stage. Not at my pinnacle, because I ain't going to peak for a while. But I know that the physique underneath all this fat is peak. I want to see it. I want to see the change from me ages ago to now. I want to see how defined my biceps are, my triceps are. I want to see the striations in my chest. I want to see all these cool things, and I'm certain that being on a cut and losing the weight will make it all that much more satisfying when I get a pump. I love when I get pumped now. the feeling I get when I see myself with massive arms or massive shoulders and back and everything, the blood's pumping everywhere, and I look absolutely awesome in my eyes. I'm at the best I've ever looked. Well, not the best I've ever looked, because there's still quite a lot of fat on me, but I am definitely at the biggest I've ever been. At 94 kg, younger me would never have imagined reaching it. I've got a Snapchat saved from a few years ago where I was happy I finally reached 12 stone. So that's how times have changed. I'm now struggling to get below 14 stone, so it's a different time entirely. And I know underneath, just like Penny in the Amazing World of Gumball, my peanut's ready to come off. I'm ready to shed my shell and show what I've actually built underneath all this fat and all this covering. There's something to be shown. There's a diamond in the rough, and I wanna show it off. I wanna be looking in the mirror and being more proud than ever. And also, another good thing about this diet is if it takes off as well as I'm hoping it will, by the time December's rolled around and the cut's over, I'm at now a new base point. So even when I bulk back up, my training's hopefully going to get a lot easier, my strength's going to increase again, and ultimately I'm going to be feeling absolutely incredible because I now have bulked back up, but not an insane amount. Like, this is too much, I think. 94 kg is too much for me to sit at comfortably. I'd rather be sitting at around maybe 87 kg, maybe 86. I'll put the translations for other weights on the screen too, just to be careful. But I think when I've lost all this weight, I'm sure it's going to be something to be looking out for. So hopefully this is the start of a new chapter of the channel and a new chapter of myself. Very excited, very happy, and thank you all for the support. You know, in the last 2 weeks I've broken 2 of the all-time goals I wanted on YouTube. I got 100 views on a video, and I got 200 views on a video, and then I got 3 videos over 100 views now, and I couldn't be more happy. And I'm sure moving forward, those numbers are just going to keep going up and up, and our community's only going to grow. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Maybe I'll put some Subway Surfers content on the screen, or Markiplier jingle to keep you on track. But thank you all very much for the support, and I'll see you all next time.